Now, this quarantine life has been no joke. I mean, everything seemed to have changed overnight and keep changing. And then when you throw marriage and kids in there, it's like, whoo, what am I supposed to do with all that? But before I get into all that, let me first welcome you back to my channel. My name is Ayanna, and this is Beyond Committed, where we talk about everything from life, faith, family, marriage, motherhood, and everything between, and we take them beyond. If this is your first time here, welcome, and I hope you won't be a stranger. And to make sure you press that subscribe button below and then turn on notifications so you don't miss a video. All right, now let's dive right in. Having to adjust to quarantine life and all this changing has been overwhelming, to say the least. I mean, every day it seems like something else has changed. Something that we can do today, we can't do tomorrow, and the list can go on and on. And making all those adjustments can be hard. And then when you throw marriage and kids in here, it's like, what am I supposed to do with this? How am I supposed to adjust to this daily and then help everybody else adjust as well? And in marriage especially, it can be hard, and it has been hard. I know for me and my husband over the last few months, we have learned so much about each other. Some things I wish I hadn't learned, but some things I'm like, okay, no, although I wish I didn't learn it, I'm grateful that I did, because it's something that, I hope that we can use going forward just to grow and to strengthen our marriage. And I hope that you can say the same. And it's so important that in the midst of all the ups and downs in marriage, especially in this quarantine life, that we don't look at all the negatives and all the things that we wish were different, or we wish that would change, or wish that could go back to normal. But there are some things that we can take from this quarantine life and this experience into our marriage to make it better. And there's 5 things that I've learned along this journey that, although they were not always easy lessons, they're lessons I'm glad I learned, and lessons I'm definitely taking forward into our marriage for years to come. Number 1 is not on time is quality time. Now, this is something that I have learned so much about over the last few months, because we're home together all the time. My husband traveled a lot for work, and travel stopped around the beginning of the year. So he has not been on a plane in like 7 or 8 months. And that is like overwhelming for him. And it was adjustment for me and my girls, because we're used to, all right, see you later, babe. See you in a few days, helping unpack, being excited when he gets home. But we've been together all this time, which has been a blessing. But a lot of the times we're just together. It's not quality time. He's working, I'm working, or we're working with the kids, or trying to keep them entertained, or playing with the dog, and all those other things that just happen in our everyday life, and all the adjustments that we have to make because we're all home together. And it's so important that we are mindful that just because you're together doesn't mean that that time is quality. So it's so important that as wives, we're mindful of that, and we make the adjustments that we need. Do we need to put the kids to bed a little early, or turn on a movie there in the living room, or in the TV room, or in the basement, or whatever space you have, and then you go into your room and you watch a movie just to have that quality time? Because it's can get lost in the midst of everything. And just because you're together in the same room or together in the same house doesn't mean you're actually spending quality time. So that's something that we have to be mindful of. And that's something that is so important, that although we should not be home together forever the way we are, when we are able to just go and do all the things that we used to do, that we're mindful to make sure the time we spend together is quality time as well. And number 2 is that everybody needs space. This being together all the time can get extra. It's like, okay, I'm tired of looking at you, or you're tired of looking at me, and don't you have somewhere you want to go or need to go? And sometimes it's like, yeah, there's some place I want to go, but I can't. There's no place I need to go because I can't. So it's so important that we make sure that us and our husbands have the space that we need. Does that mean that one person gets the office today and the other person gets it tomorrow? Or listen, the bedroom is the office today, so this is my space for today, and you have to work somewhere else or do something somewhere else, whatever it is. It's so important that we're mindful that yes, we are together. Yes, you're in love and all of that, and 2 became 1 and all of those great things. But we all need a little space. We all need a little room. And being that we're all at home together, it's so important that we adjust accordingly and make sure that we get the space we need, even if it's just 1 floor up. Number 3, is your physical health affects the health of your relationship. Now, this is something that I have become so mindful of, although I like to exercise and I like to eat right most of the time, but I like my treats and going out to eat every so often. So, there's no strict anything for us in our home. But I've noticed that over time, it's easy to kind of just snack and not work out and do all those things because we're home, the gym closed, and it's like, okay, all the things I'm used to doing, I can't do anymore. And then my husband and I actually started running together. But it's cold now here, and like it doesn't get light until like 7 o'clock. So in the morning, I'm like, by then the kids need to be up getting ready for school and all that. So running is out for us right now. So it's hard to kind of stay active and stay moving, but it's something that we all must do. And here on YouTube, there are so many different options for you to exercise and just get motivation and all that. So a few times a week, turn on a video, walk around the neighborhood, even if it's the middle of the day or the end of the day, whatever it is, because it's so important that you take care of your health and your body, because that helps you to take care of the health and well-being of your marriage as well. Number 4 is changing up your routine is not always a bad thing, and sometimes it's necessary. Now, in the midst of everything that's been going on with quarantine, everything has changed and there's nothing routine about it. But even being home all the time, you kind of get into a routine. I know it's like, okay, I get up at this time, we do this, my kids go here, my husband goes upstairs to work, and like every day was kind of like the same thing, especially before my kids went back to hybrid school. And I was just kind of used to it, but realizing that it wasn't always healthy kind of keeping everything the same and kind of just getting like stuck in kind of like a rut and a routine of kind of just, okay, we're home, that's it. So find a way to spice things up. We've thrown movie night in there. We've thrown like date nights at home in there. We've thrown evening walks with just me and my husband and the dog. And then like in the day, we'll take the kids for a walk so that I have family and quality time with them, but making sure that I'm nurturing my marriage and making sure I'm spending that one-on-one quality time with my husband is necessary as well. So it's so important that in the midst of all the change, in the midst of all the new routines that we're making and having to let go of the old routines, knowing that change is not always a bad thing. And sometimes it's necessary to kind of keep that spark alive. And number 5, speaking of keeping that spark alive, sometimes you need to schedule in that sexy time, if you know what I mean. In the midst of being together all the time and not going anywhere and kind of just being in each other's presence all day, it's easy to be at the end of the day, be like, I'm good. Doing all that is extra. Or you've been with the kids all day. You've been with your husband all day. You haven't gone anywhere, haven't done anything for days. And it's like, no, I just want to do me right now. But as wives, we have to make sure we're taking care of the needs of our marriage. We both need that physical intimacy with our husbands, and sometimes it requires us to just schedule it. I know for me, my husband traveled a lot for work prior to all of this, so I would have a running calendar in my head, like, okay, it's been, this many days, he had to go out of town, so okay, when he comes home, let me, make sure that I am tending to my marriage and tending to my husband, because that is necessary. And just because he's not leaving the house doesn't mean I am not making sure that, okay, the needs of my husband and the needs of my marriage and my own needs are being met, if you know what I mean. All right, that's it for today. And I want to know, what have you learned about this married quarantine life that you plan to not just hold on to now, but take into your marriage for years to come? Let me know in the comment box below. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to press that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a video. All right, now until I see you again, bye.